Now let's consider a different approach to control that is visual and can be easily deployed on the factory floor. It is called pre-control. Pre-control is grounded in statistical principles, but it can be managed at all levels of the organization. Pre-control works like a traffic light. You can see that a normal distribution has been superimposed over the regions. You might recognize these regions as some of the regions described as part of the empirical rule. The green zone captures 86% of all the data under the curve. At plus or minus 1.5 standard deviations from the mean, we hit the yellow zones. The red zones are beyond plus or minus 3 standard deviations from the mean. Even though the numbers appear to indicate that the area is 0 in the red zones, they are in fact not 0, but very small. Pre-control works under 3 rules. First, if we measure a parameter and it's within plus or minus 1.5 standard deviation, or the green zone, take no action and continue to run. Second, if the part measures outside plus or minus 1.5 standard deviations, but within plus or minus 3 standard deviations, or the yellow zone, we need to check a second part. If the second part measures within plus or minus 1.5 standard deviations, or the green zone, continue to run. If the second part measures outside plus or minus 1.5 standard deviations, but within plus or minus 3 standard deviations, but on the same side, make an adjustment. If the second part measures outside plus or minus 1.5 standard deviations, but within plus or minus 3 standard deviations, but on the opposite side, stop the process. And finally, if any measurement is outside the plus or minus 3 standard deviations, we will immediately stop the process. If we look closer at the probabilities associated with measuring 2 consecutive parts for all possible outcomes, we get the table seen here. Notice that only probabilities that fall below 0.005 require action. Pre-control has trade-offs with regard to precision compared to ease, but it is a great way to involve the operator in the daily effort to monitor, detect, and respond to processes that drift out of control. We consider our process qualified when we have 5 consecutive measurements in the green zone. However, our decision error is only 2%. Depending on what we are manufacturing, as well as the costs and the risk to the consumer, pre-control can serve an important role in floor process control.